This week, Palestinian nationalists have celebrated two deadly attacks against Jewish civilians in and around Jerusalem. President Biden called the massacre of Jews at the exit of a synagogue last Friday night an outrage against all civilized society. He's right, but he missed three critical points. First, the attacks were against the Jewish people. We who are supposedly rats, pigs, dogs, monkeys, vermin, as the Israel haters and anti-Semites like to say, no. We are in fact human, and violence achieves no change in the basic human situation of Palestinian Arabs. Violence builds no new factories and hospitals. It creates no new water and electrical infrastructure. It does not eliminate corruption. And of course, violence will not defeat Israel at all, which is why it's so stupid. Israel will punish terrorists whether the country is led by doves or hawks. Second, the Palestinian National Movement is not interested in coexistence with Israel. Let's face it, it never was. The vast majority of the Palestinian Arabs in Judea, Samaria, and Gaza have proven in poll after poll after poll that they support anti-Jewish violence. This is what happens when you indoctrinate children for generations with hatred in schools, summer camps, and on television. Abba Eban used to say that the Palestinians never miss an opportunity to miss an opportunity. Now, he was referring to this diplomatically, okay? But this failure, however, was not the result of inefficiency or short-sightedness on the PLO's part. Instead, it reveals the true core objective of the Palestinian Arab National Movement: to end the existence of the Jewish state of Israel with hatred and homicidal spirit in one orgy of violence or 10 million minor assaults via diplomacy and propaganda, or vis-a-vis so-called resistance operations, okay, that target civilians. Let's face it, Palestinian society is led by Islamic supremacists and the secular gangsters of the PLO. Okay, until their movement is totally defeated, all of their diplomatic overtures will be, in the words of Yasser Arafat, merely worthless, blah, blah, blah. Not serious, not genuine, and ordinary Jews and Arabs will continue to suffer because of this. The mantra of this cycle of violence is an excuse for drawing a false moral equivalent between Israel and its enemies. Do you buy into that? Do you buy into that equivalence? If you do, ask yourself why Palestinian Arabs were out celebrating the murder of Jewish civilians on January 27th. Ask yourself why Jewish civilians were not out in the streets celebrating the elimination of 9 armed terrorists in Jenin on January 25th. The fact is that Jews seldomly celebrate with candy in the streets when its forces go out after armed Islamic supremacists and ultranationalists and fascists. We just don't do it. It's not in our nature, and it's not our culture, okay? American and European taxpayers currently continue to fund an entire infrastructure of hatred and violence in the West Bank and Gaza to the tune of billions of dollars. Young and old Palestinians continue to ingest a diet of bigotry, lies, evasion, and self-pity. The glorification of violence against civilians remains a mainstay of Palestinian nationalism. Not by chance, the leader of the supposed moderate Palestinian camp, Mahmoud Abbas, himself is a former Soviet spy, a Holocaust denier, and a dictator. Third, okay? The entire arsenal of anti-Israel slogans and the canards that we hear today of the so-called progressive circles is taken practically verbatim from Soviet propaganda. Okay, or do you really think these slogans are about social justice? Just Google the relevant work of Isabella Tabarovsky. The former PLO mouthpiece, Professor Hanan Ashrawi, once quipped, "My people are an all or nothing people." Okay, she has a point. Palestinian Arab nationalists have always demanded everything. For that reason, they have gotten next to nothing. They continue to lead the Palestinian Arab people by the nose into an abyss so long as they continue to cultivate and indulge hatred. So long as they refuse to accept the fact that they initiated and lost the war of 1948. Palestinian Arabs will continue to get nothing. That's all I have to say about that.